My question is about Chiron, and I'm wondering why Chiron isn't seen or shown up in our charts. You can read about Chiron returns and all that stuff, but I'm really wondering why we can't see it.
Yeah. I don't know that I have an answer for you, because that is not something that, I mean, there are decisions that get made. I mean, why is Pluto still on here when Pluto is no longer considered a planet? Right? Who decides if Pluto is a planet? Who decides if Chiron is a planet? You know, I can't give you the justification for why that is, but other than that Chiron is an asteroid, considered an asteroid, although Pluto is now considered an asteroid. And so these decisions got made a long time ago. And what I was always taught is that Chiron is a very important influence, particularly after your Chiron return around the age of 50. And that you always want to look at Chiron and you want to see what Chiron is bringing in, but it does not create definition in the chart. But I can't tell you why that is. I don't know.
Okay.
So that's probably not a very satisfying answer for you. But my guess for you, when you were saying that your Chiron's in the 22, and then that would make you a manifester if it were actually defined in your chart. What I would do with something like that is, rather than looking outside of you to what some expert says about why is this like this, is to instead go in and be like, wow, do I feel like I have this manifestor energy?
Yeah.
And
I mean, I forgot to bring that. Sorry.
I'm sorry? What did you say?
Sorry that I interrupted. I forgot to tell in my question that I really made the experience to bring in my Chiron into the chart. And yes, then I would have become a manifester.
Manifestor,
And for me, yes, and it was very interesting because I really got an emotional, the heaviest emotional reaction and also body reaction with that. Yes, this is a very important part of me. And yes, I'm not 25. I am right now 59. And maybe that's why it's so important for me.
Well, yeah, because your Chiron does become more important. I'm just going to show this for everybody who can see. So she's got the 12 defined in her chart, right? And her Chiron's in the 22. Can you guys see my cursor here? So she's got Chiron in the 22 and the 12. And so if Chiron was providing definition in her chart, she'd have this whole channel, which would connect the emotional solar plexus to her throat, and that would make her a manifester. So that's what we're talking about. Okay. I mean, I think the thing that I can say from my point of view is that Chiron is a very important part of your chart. Chiron is a very important influence, and it is, in the human design world, Chiron is a more significant influence when after your age of 50, when you have your Chiron return. But you know what? When I looked at my chart, and I was kind of puzzled until I saw my Chiron, which is in the 30 and in the 49, I was like, oh, there's that energy, because I knew that I had a certain energy that was not in my chart, right? The intensity of the 30 is something I've had my whole life, but but it's not defined in my chart. But it's still, I have it, and you still have the 22. And so I want to invite you to liberate yourself from feeling like you have to fit into a description of yourself that doesn't work for you, and be like, wow, you know, I can feel this kind of energy coming from the emotional solar plexus to the throat, right, through that knowing circuit, and explore it and see what that brings you. Because here's the thing, I really just use human design as a tool to help us with our lives, right? It's not just mind candy. It's actually, how is it helping us with our lives? And if that helps you with your life to be like, yeah, I really feel this manifesting energy, then the question would be, is how does that show up, and what can you do with that? I don't know. Is that helpful to you?
It is helpful. I mean, for sure, I started laughing a little bit. So I'm a reflector with a manifesting attitude. I will say attitude. And yeah, I will not say it's a game, but for sure it is a very nice experience. And and honest, I mean, I think all reflectors on one hand side are looking, or before they realize that they are reflectors, are trying to identify themselves a little bit more. And a manifestor gives you a little bit more an identification on one hand side. And I was really thinking, are you still looking for a kind of identification for yourself? Or, I mean, I love to be a reflector. Oh, yeah. But on the other side, to have that Chiron in the manifesting attitude.
Well, and here's the thing, is like you do have that activated in your chart. I mean, it's active in your, let's put it this way. Let's leave the chart aside. You have it active in your field. Okay, because remember, all the chart is a reflection of of the human energy field. That's all it is, right? It's not some abstract thing that exists on its own. It's actually a diagram of what's happening inside of your energy field. And you have Chiron in the 22 in your energy field, right? So the thing that I would leave you with, because I need to move on, is just what makes you feel the most joyful, the most creative, the most excited about your life, the most empowered in your life, and go with that. And reflectors can be enormously powerful people because they pick up and amplify a lot of energy. And so a lot of times a reflector can be like lit up like a Christmas tree. And when they go in a room, people go, whoa, who's that? Right? Because it's like, whoosh. So it's not that reflectors are not powerful people, because they don't have definition in their channels and their centers. Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you.